So for those of you who took action on last night's game plan, along with implementing the 30-minute candlestick patterns that I teach you, you should have had a phenomenal green day on the day, making hundreds of dollars, if not over $1,000. I made it very, very clear in last night's game plan to buy call options on the SPY once it hits the previous closing price if you're seeing bullish 30-minute candlestick confirmations. In terms of the next zone to buy call options, I made it very, very clear. It was in between the range of 545 to 544, which was towards the exact lows on the day. In terms of confirmations with the strategies that I do teach you, for those of you who follow this channel, you are well aware of the 90-minute bearish trend reversal candlestick to buy call options at a key level. As you can see, if you are seeing a 90-minute slanted red pattern and then it hits our key level, you're going to want to buy call options on the opening of the next 30-minute candlestick. It should be strong and bullish to try to retest these wicks, right? So in terms of that overall pattern, as you can see, if you follow this overall channel, when you are seeing a 90-minute slanted red bearish pattern like this, and then you're seeing the pins at the key level to buy call options, which was the previous closing price. As you can see, SPY ended up having a gap close reversal. SPY was closing these 30-minute candlesticks multiple times above the gap. And then in terms of using the 90-minute pattern, you're buying call options on the opening of this candlestick at 11 a.m. And then you're selling into the rip towards these top wicks, towards those resistance levels, right? So the first opportunity to buy call options did end up working out if you did utilize the strategies that I teach along with the levels. Now, in terms of the second zone that I gave you, it was right here. 545 to 544. In terms of a confirmation of buy call options, if you looked at the overall 10-day 30-minute chart, you should have seen a very similar pattern. As you can see right here towards a very similar level, there's a green bullish trend reversal candlestick. What does the SPY start to do after it forms that green bullish 30-minute trend reversal candlestick? It starts to skyrocket. So you buy call options on the opening of this next 30-minute candlestick when you are seeing that green bullish trend reversal candlestick in between the buy zone. So if you've been utilizing the strategies that I've been teaching you at the levels that I gave you within the game plan, this should have been your second green day in a row within the overall game plans. Now, with that being said, in terms of the newly updated game plan, this pattern, this trend that I brought awareness to you in terms of this overall bull rally in this very bullish week, which can also potentially be a very strong bullish month to come, where SPY explodes up and fills the gap that is waiting to fill above at 563.40, man. I already broke down the macro. Go back and watch the videos, man. I broke down the weekly chart. SPY is really pushing and really on track to start to fill this gap. It's going to take time, man, but it's bound to happen, man. So with that being said, this bull rally is on track to continue, man. A lot of people are saying September, it's known for historically being the most bearish month. Well, in terms of all the technicals that I've been showing you, we are on track for a very strong bullish overall move if you've been paying attention to that weekly chart along with the daily chart. So we're going to continue to capture this overall bull trend because SPY has been consistently trying to fill this gap at 563.50. If you've been analyzing the daily candlesticks, if you've been day trading the 30-minute chart, you should have had phenomenal wins into this week already, buying the dip. So the main focus is going to continue to be buying oversold dips and also waiting for SPY to break above major resistance. And then when it drops back down to that previous resistance to test for the first time, to buy the dip if we're seeing 30-minute bullish or trend reversal 30-minute confirmations, right? The candlestick confirmations. Now, in terms of the overall updated game plan, this is what I wanted to bring awareness to. So in terms of the SPY, we are on track for an overall strong bullish closing week. So I told you the game plan. We're going to be looking for oversold dips to buy. We're also going to be looking for strong breakouts above resistance when it drops back down by the retest, right? Now, in terms of the daily chart, based off the daily chart pattern, the SPY is going to attempt to gap up. Based off this daily chart, if you go back throughout the history and see how SPY reacts here with this strong bullish daily candlestick, it likes to gap up. It likes to continue to overall run, right? You can see right here, you have a very similar candlestick, and then it starts to gap up. It continues to have a gap and go. So if the SPY does gap up tomorrow, the plan is to buy the gap and go, likely very early in the morning in that particular situation. So that's going to be the overall game plan. If we do gap up, I'm going to be looking for a gap and go situation, right? In terms of levels to keep an eye on. Keep an eye on this like 549 overall zone. A break above 549 sends us to 551.50. Above that, we're going to 553.50 to 554, right? So if the SPY is gapping up, we're going to be looking for a gap and go play for 30-minute bullish confirmations above previous resistance levels, which is at 547.60 to 548.50 to 549 overall zone. You can also look for strong breakouts above pre-market resistance in the pre-market. And then when the SPY drops back down to test those pre-market, previous resistance levels, you can look to buy the dip on the retest towards those new levels in the pre-market as well, right? So that's going to be the first game plan. Now, the SPY is currently having a small gap down. If we do end up opening up lower, than the previous closing price, which is 548.79, I'm going to be very interested in buying call options at the lower levels, which is going to be right here towards this 544.50 level. Very interested in buying calls towards that overall 544.50 level. Also keep your eyes on 542.50, right? So that's if the SPY is opening up bearish and we're gapping down. I'm going to be looking for the overall lower and oversold levels, right? Another level to keep an eye on is this zone towards this 541.50 to 540.40 gap close reversal zone. And then if we do ever decide to drop back down towards that 538.50 level, right? That's the overall gap breakdown level. If we do ever decide to drop back down towards this level, very unlikely in terms of the short term, but if it does happen, I'm going to be very interested in buying call options at the 536 to 537.50 gap breakdown zone. Based off of what we are seeing on the weekly chart, we are on track for a strong bullish closing week, right? So you need to understand, man, we are towards some major resistance, like in terms of 551 to 554. That is some short-term micro resistance, and there is gaps that are waiting to fill below. Like you can see right here, in a sense, this is a similar candlestick. So if we are reacting bearish towards this 549, we're going to be waiting for the oversold levels, right? You can see right here, this is a similar candlestick on the daily chart. This is a similar candlestick on the daily chart. Next day, it has a small break above the highs, and then it's a hard sell-off. But the day after that, it's a strong gap up, man. So it's going to recover regardless. So if we do have a major bearish day heading into this week, I'm going to be very interested in swing trading call options. So if the SPY does have a hard sell-off into the rest of this week, I will be looking for a swing trading opportunity to buy call options, man. I'm telling you, based off of what I'm seeing on the weekly chart in the macro, for those of you who are swing trading call options a couple weeks out or over a month out, and you're just holding those out, leaving them to ride, it looks like the market's going to be overall within your favor, man, because it's looking very strong and bullish overall. Within some time, it could take a little bit over a month to hit this 564 to 565 gap level. Then it starts to pull back from that overall macro range, right? So that's what I'm seeing in terms of the short-term analysis. That's going to be the overall game plan with the levels. So we're keeping an eye on 549, we're keeping an eye on 551, we're keeping an eye on 554, and then the levels below that, 544. Level below that is going to be 542.50. Gap close reversal level at 540. The key support level is going to be 536.50 to 537. Overall this week, we are on track for a strong bullish closing week. So we're going to be looking for oversold dip buying opportunities, even a potential swing trade if the market has a strong bearish closing day. We're going to be looking to use the break and retest strategy where the SPY has a strong breakout above resistance, and then it drops back down to test that previous breakout level resistance for the first time. And then we're going to be looking to buy the dip. We're also going to be looking to buy the dip at key oversold levels, towards that 544. But if we do end up gapping up tomorrow, it's likely going to be a gap and go. But if 549 is reacting bearish, then it's going to really start to sell back off towards that 544. So in terms of this micro, it's overall make or break. But if we are gapping up, it's likely going to be a strong bullish move. If we are gapping down, then we could be seeing 544 heading into tomorrow. Going to be looking for oversold dip buying opportunities. But if we are looking very strong and bearish heading into tomorrow, the main focus, if the market closes bearish, will be a swing trade on SPY call options. Now, in terms of a swing trade that I did decide to finally take action on, it was DJT. For those of you who've been following my overall, videos on this channel, you are well aware that I told you we're looking for a gap close reversal at this 1730 level. This was towards the exact lows on DJT stock. And in terms of how it's looking, we have a lot of volume picking up. You know, the stock finally had a strong breakout on the overall volume. It's still extremely oversold, and it's reversing at the gap. The gap was right here. It consolidated for a few days. And if you look at how DJT is overall uptrending, this is one of the reasons why I decided to swing trade it from a technical view. We have a very strong breakout on the overall volume. And if you look at how the chart is moving, you have a slanted bullish trend to the upside. So it's forming these trend reversal pins, these trend reversal candlesticks, consolidating at the gap for multiple days on the daily chart, which is very bullish for reversal. Now you have these slanted gap ups, these slanted bullish wicks, this slanted trend to the upside, right? So if you look at what occurred when this overall happens, it tends to be a strong bullish move on DJT. You can see right here, towards the same level, you had a gap up, and then you have this slanted bullish trend. And you see how it starts to retest the wick, and then it has a massive breakout, man. So if you compare what is happening from the past couple days to January 16th of 2024, it looks very similar. And we are beginning to get that very strong breakout in volume, right? So if you just look at the overall trend, it's bound to retest this wick. And in terms of this wick, you can see right here, it's at $20 a share. And last time it ended up having a very strong breakout above the wick. So I do believe in terms of swing trading, DJT is going to be a phenomenal swing trading opportunity. It can happen by Friday or it can happen into next week. But I'm favoring the bulls, and I'm on the call side, man. So I did end up swing trading 20 strike calls on DJT. If you do want to give yourself a little bit more time, I do believe all you really need is up until next week, man. Till the end of next Friday, that's really all you need with this particular stock. You can also buy some that expire this Friday. But based off what the chart's saying, it is saying that we are bound to break out and we are really bound to start skyrocketing here, man. So in terms of some key breakout levels to be watching in terms of resistance levels for it to truly start to go parabolic, you need to break above this like $22 range, man. A break above 22 sends us flying, man. If we could break above 22, the stock's going to start flying, man. So keep an eye on that 22 to 2180 overall zone for a breakout. Based off of what the daily chart is saying, it is saying that we are going to quickly retest $20 a share. And then in terms of extended hours, you can see that we are already pumping during the extended hours trading session. We are already gapping up. So it ended up closing at 1863. We are already having a small gap up. So keep DJT stock on your overall radar, man. That is going to be the analysis for today in terms of the top trade that we did have inside of Team Roar today. It was right here at 12:20 p.m. You could see we ended up buying 546 SPY calls for 52 cents a contract. And then we ended up exiting that trade at the speed of light for a 200% plus profit return in the 150 range. With that being said, for those of you who are serious about trading alongside with us and making money alongside with us, it's going to be the first link down below. If you would like to join us, man, you get access to our real-time options trading alert system. We are known for buying cheap, far, low risk, out of money option contracts, typically 2 to 5 legs out, and we are known for selling them in the money 90% of the time. And we have a special zero-day options trading alert system. In terms of some backgrounds, we are known for not using stop losses. We put in our max risk per trade on the overall contracts. If the contracts expire worthless, they go to zero. Then in terms of that situation, the most we lose is our max risk per trade. So there's no need to use a stop loss in that situation. If all we're risking is our max risk per trade, we can just let them expire worthless, right? And then in terms of 70% of the time, when we are down, we call this a dead play. A dead play is when a position drops over 50%. 70% of the time, they come back to life, they go in the money later on throughout the day, and we sell for a win. That's another reason why to hold the overall contracts, because they tend to come back to life 70% of the time. Now, in terms of winners, we like to quickly add to winners. We are known for winning very, very big percentage-wise, and we have the highest win rate in the game doing this with this overall trading style, right? So in terms of winners, we quickly add to them. When we're up like 15, 20%, we like to add to winners, and then to protect our average cost and to secure the overall profits to prevent us from going green to red, we set profit stops. A profit stop is going to ensure that you do not go green to red on a trade. And if you continue to move your profit stops higher as the trade is working out in your favor, it will ensure that you do not experience a big drawback in those overall gains, giving back to prevent you from giving back the vast majority of those gains if the market has a big move against the overall trade, right? So if you do want to trade alongside with us, it's going to be the first link down below within the description. We are absolutely crushing it every single day. Like I said, we have a 90% plus success rate buying cheap, far, low risk, out of money option contracts, and we are known for selling them in the money 90% of the times, man. I'm telling you, we are absolutely crushing it. We have a new member on the day who's up over $9,000 on the day, man. We have many members who are very, very consistent, and they're making over $1,000 on the day. Big shout out to you guys within Team Roar. We will see you guys tomorrow live towards the market open.